public too, or not?
Okay.
Okay. Is it 9 o'clock yet, or is that on time or not?
Got 2 minutes.
Oh, we got a little bit. I can see this paper here.
Well, that's pretty fancy. They got their own stamp in chocolate.
Oh, well, then you better have one then.
Now you gotta open it too, because there's other things in there too.
Oh, really?
Let's at least look at it.
Then you better look.
Oh, what the heck? Shapes of hard hats and cement mixer. Or cement truck. That's kind of unique.
Smells like chocolate.
Looks like you need them more than I do.
You think so?
I
don't think so. There's so much stuff sitting around at home there.
You guys get me like meat and cheese trays here or something? No.
That's my favorite thing though. I'll
Wow.
take a meat and cheese tray
Yeah.
over candy or any of that stuff.
Great, Casey.
Good. Good to see you.
Okay.
There's a call sale today.
You go.
It shouldn't take long here. You can get over there, buy a cow or two. I will say the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone. We'll call the meeting to order. Special meeting today, so just so we know, we have to stick to the agenda topics only, because it's a special meeting. And we'll move into, because we don't have to do that other thing either, okay?
You do have the public comment.
Do we have to do that? Is there
That-
anyone?
Yeah, there is one person.
Okay, so then we'll have to do that now then. Right?
Yep.
Okay. So we'll have our public comment period of 3 minutes. But you have to have applied. Yep. Go ahead.
First of all, I'd like to thank the commission for inviting us to maybe have a discussion today. And I'm not here really to represent myself. I'm here to represent the 76 school kids that ride my school bus every school day. I operate 4 routes in every district. So I wanted to maybe discuss a little bit about if we have a snowstorm, yard service and stuff like that. What's the current that have been voted on about maybe snow removal if needed in the yard?
Well, I guess we don't have to answer questions, but we can, but we're going to get into that when we get there, and we'll answer that question. Mostly this here is for speaking your piece, I guess, speaking your statements.
Okay.
And then,
I won't put you on the spot right now.
yeah, so we'll answer that
Okay.
when we get to it.
I believe on a need basis that if a bus driver comes into a yard and we notice it's blocked, it's already too late. We drive in. It's against the law to back up any distance at all. So we're pretty much committed to make that trip, whether we get stuck or not. We can't. There's no place to back up. And so we make that decision and we get stuck in a yard. There all the kids are going to be late for school, and whether we have 1 or 30 of them on. And I think it's just the safety of the kids that we kind of have a commitment that we do have yard service from the county, that they would come in and move some snow if needed. I know in the past I have asked for maybe some yard service, and I got the answer that we were told we can't do that anymore. And to me, I think that's the wrong answer. I know Patrick's kind of one that we would call, and have I ever called you and bothered you about anything that had a complaint, or I have your number.
Yeah, no, you've been good to work with.
But anybody I ask, I think, the answer should be, we were told we can't do that. Just for the kids' safety. And I brought up to the school, bidding is next year, June. And I told them if I don't get a little more commitment from the county, that I'm gonna bid my bus routes without yard service. And that adds a whole nother safety issue. I'm glad Casey came here. I'm just counting the kids that I operate buses for.
Mine's pretty much all on highway, but.
Yeah, but you do pull into some yards.
Okay. Thank you for that.
So, thank you.
Will be the second item, we'll be talking about it. Thank you.
Yep.
There wasn't anyone else then? And we don't have any minutes or agenda, do we approve the agenda?
Just the agenda, yep.
Okay. Well, does anyone have any additions to the agenda, or make a motion to accept the agenda the way it is?
I moved to approve the agenda.
There's a motion, is there a second?
I second.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, we'll move into hiring committee report on state's attorney position and the hiring committee, Dean and Juliana and I met, and I think twice, to go over everything. And we just did a telephone interview, and so do you guys have anything to add? We chose a
Right. I guess, yeah, we just, we had met, I guess, a couple of times or whatever, but we did make our recommendation of Jared Geetson and Olivia Krebs to serve in that role. And I guess that's what we're here today to, present that to the commission or whatever. And I guess that'll be your decision or your appointment, or however, you need to do that, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
I think we're
basically concurring. Yeah.
we're good to go then. All right, so this is Jared's and Olivia's proposal of payment. We asked them to come up with what they would agree with, and so what they're proposing, and so we'll I apologize for not getting this here yesterday. I had kind of lost it on my thing, and then I wasn't around yesterday, so, but yeah, you guys, I don't know how much you read it, but I lost it on my email somewhere.
So I guess my one question would be is, let's just say I have a question, I want to call Pat. So is your monthly fee, or whoever wanted to ask this, based on, if I make a call to you, that's not an additional, that's part of the fee, correct?
It's all inclusive, yes.
Good question, yeah.
And how about zoning meetings? Are they in or out now? I didn't see about, do you guys want them at zoning meetings, or is he or not? That's one thing I didn't see in here. Yay or nay?
Advise county planning and zoning board on permit applications, but it doesn't say for that meeting.
So that's the third Thursday of the month, am I correct there? Yeah.
And that's where I don't know if you guys need or require, that's why I'm just throwing it out there for you, that's sake.
I don't know, Pat usually came most of the time. Yeah. Would you be able to do that?
Yes, Juliana, master calendar is at third Thursday or fourth Thursday?
For Thursday.
Okay, so that would be fine then.
And then the Rough Rider North Human Services, we asked you about that. You don't have to go to those meetings, but if there's something comes up, you know. And it's mostly now kind of converted over to the county where the stuff happens, but you still are the overall person because Billings County pays all the payroll and does all the expenses, and that's the way the state wrote up that program. If I'm not, is that right?
Yep.
Okay,
As well as advising them on any legal
right.
issues.
Okay.
So I'm good with everything else. I didn't have any other questions.
Is there any other questions? Either. You're still our state attorney. Was there anything, anything you saw good, bad, or ugly?
No, I think the agreement pretty much just conforms to the statute, what the state's attorney's duties legally are.
Okay, thank you. Well, if someone wants to entertain a motion, or do we want to wait until next month right away, or it says it will start or commence on January 1st. I thought it said here somewhere.
I
Of
moved
26.
Move to approve the recommendation to hire Jared Geetson and Firm or and Olivia. What did you just?
How do you
This
want
is
to
what
say
I
it?
had-
Like the firm, most likely, there's three of us, exclusive of John Wagner, but Olivia and I would be doing the work for Billings County. So,
Okay, so is that the way you'd like the motion to be, and is that all right with us?
Or should I put the wrong way?
Huh?
yeah,
If you
I would
wanna
say,
read the-
I would say appoint, probably remove along and just say Jared and Olivia with KVRS is fine.
Okay, that's how I had it originally, but okay,
Okay,
thank you.
well, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay, we have a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Pat, thank you for all your help over the last 3 years, and learning and questions and always being there for the right advice, or felt it was right, except for I argued one time with you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you too. You had 8 years, right?
I don't know.
2019.
Oh, it was 19?
Yep.
Oh, so I thought it was 18, but okay. Yeah, thank you for that. You helped us through a lot of things. And there was differences, but it all got worked out, so. Thank you. Wishing you the best in, if it's retirement or whatever you're gonna do next.
Yeah, well, there's the only other thing that you may want to address is the ongoing roadless issues, which are not they're not going to be decided anytime soon. But in talking with Senator Hogan's office, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. But that's up to you guys.
Okay,
Anyway, you're going to be in good hands.
Thank you, Pat.
thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
Okay, well, we'll move into the discussion on the road and bridge direction of private driveways, and I'm glad that you came in and I gave your statement. That's a good way to start. It had been, and this is the way I understand it, in the years past that we went into road driveways, and then a motion was made, was it like 3 years ago? Because Iverson was here yet when you guys, right, made the motion?
Jeff?
Huh?
Jeff Iverson?
No,
Lester.
Lester.
The
'Cause
motion was made to not?
to not go in there, is that right?
Just bus turnarounds, I think, was it. There was about 25 meetings
Yeah.
between Mike Kazian and Joe Kessel and
Oh.
you guys, and
Yeah,
it had
because
gone
it was
back and
earlier,
forth.
so maybe it was before you guys.
I don't recall that, but
Okay,
I mean,
so it
I'm
could have
not
been.
saying,
I've had the contract for 5 years, and it was in between there somewhere.
Okay. But all as it did was state that we weren't gonna go in, but yet we still go in to driveways, and so I feel that it isn't in a policy book, is it? No, so I just feel that we need to do it however we wanna do it here. I'm in the belief that we need to go into people's yards, especially school. And, cause they're part of Billings County and we have, a lot of residents, and I feel that maybe the main road gets to be open first by the blade or snow plows, whatever you wanna call them. And then.
I'm not
do
saying
the-
all of them are a problem, but
Right.
there are some yards there that
Yeah.
really get bad at times.
And then I think the road crew kind of figures that out, which ones are and aren't. But I don't feel that we need to clean out their yards too much at all. I think go in and turn around and come back out. And then
Some
that-
of them have section lines where, if we can go in, make sure there's a place we can turn around and come out. If they wanna bring their kids to the bus, that's fine, but, if we could stay off the main roads, that'd be great.
So those bus stops up there along 85,
Counties.
those are all cleaned up all the time by the county, correct?
Yeah. Counties.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
May I speak?
Mhm.
So the reason that the driveways ever came to be an issue before was because there was residents in the county that didn't have any means to move snow whatsoever. One driveway that the bus got stuck in, all they had was a shovel to clean their entire yard, and they have a big yard. They don't have a way to clean their driveway or their yard at all, and they were relying on the county to come in with a payloader to move the snow in their yard. I don't feel that that should be the county's responsibility. I feel if you have a place in the country, you should be able to clean your own yard. I don't mind doing the driveways, but when it comes to yards, that's a whole nother story. If we're not able to turn our equipment around in the yard, I don't know if we should be going in there. Because then we had an issue here a couple winters ago where county went in to do a driveway. This was during that same time, and there was an accident. We hit a vehicle. That's why I feel there needs to be room to turn around. If the individual has a way to turn around, or has a way to move snow and they get bound up where they can't get stuck, if we have a really bad winter, we don't have a problem going in and helping. But I feel that on these 2, 4, 6-inch days where there's not a lot, we shouldn't be going in and moving yards. That's my feeling on it. Just letting you know. Otherwise, we're gonna be running a payloader to everybody's house.
I don't think that maybe any of us think a payloader should go in there, but,
Well, it's just wanted to clarify,
Yeah,
a
that's
driveway
good. That's-
in and out.
yeah.
There are some individuals in the county that have requested help, but they have stated in the past, there will never be a piece of county equipment on my property, yet they're asking for help again. I believe they need to fill out a form, like the sheet that Mr. Weir had put together for the road department before the county ever enters her property or their property.
so to clarify, a yard and a driveway. A yard, if you got 24th, 38th, and you have an approach and the yard right there. What is the classification?
Good question.
See, and that's,
And then to me, that's a yard. If you go from the approach off the main road, just
100 feet?
yeah, I mean, if it's just the county right of way approach and they live right there, you know, that's a yard to me. If you go down 1/8 mile, 1/4 mile, whatever, that's a driveway.
right. And that was the other thing I wanted to clarify, because there is places along 38 that are that way. The other thing is the places right off the highway that you have problems getting in, turning your big piece of equipment around and coming back out. The driveway's not the big issue, but when you gotta try to turn around in their yard and they don't have snow removal equipment, that becomes a problem. The other problem is also leasers in the county. There's a few different homes that are leased out to people from out of the area, and they have school kids. They don't buy anything because they're leasing to clean their yard. That's another issue there. And I believe those are some of the yards that you're having troubles
Yeah.
with too.
Having that bigger bus, I'm finding a lot of yards aren't real easy to turn that bus around in. And that's something that kind of has to be addressed too, for, you know, especially if they park their vehicles right there and stuff. We have the same problem. We're dealing with their vehicles, trying to get turned around too. But
It's not a county issue, that's a
right.
landowner.
I do recall, Mr. Chairman, the conversation of the school board coming in and saying, that was a couple years ago, and I don't know if that was what you're thinking of.
Maybe
I do
that's what
recall
I
that,
was thinking.
them saying that the county shouldn't be responsible of the driveways. Everybody should have some sort of means, I shouldn't say driveways, but
Yards.
yes, they should have some sort of means. You know, the school board stated that to us, and maybe that's kind of what was discussed a few years ago, and that's where.
Is it my turn now?
Sure.
I've been on this subject for a lot of years. It went back and forth a couple of times. When it would go back to where we weren't going in on it, it didn't take long, it came back, because it used to be you were taking business away from contractors. We heard everything. A lot of times contractors would call me up and say, they're not gonna go all the way north to open up a yard. You guys should just get back into it. It went on, we got back into it. Now you're defining a bus route to a person. You live on a bus route, we used to go into your place. You did not live on a bus route, we did not go into your place.
Used to be.
Used to be. We changed that around, especially up in District 1. I went into everybody's places along my route, because if I didn't, they would call me and say, well, you went by, I didn't want to bother you yesterday, can you come up and open me up? It was not that big of a deal to run in there, a few minutes, but one thing I'll make clear is I did not do yards. When I call a yard is a yard. You can plow down, I don't care if they live how many feet off the road, but when you get to that yard, turn that motor grader around and leave, because if they can't clean out that yard, then they don't deserve the motor grader coming in there. We're not only talking snow removal, fellas. We're talking mowing, we're talking, I'd like to see disking come back in, and more than blading one time a year. That was all in place when I left at 18. It changed, and I hear a lot about it. If we can't help our people out of Billings County, because it works both ways. There's people out there I went and visited with, even on some gravel, if they had any, and they don't want nothing to do because they're just pissed off because the county don't want to treat me. Well, whatever, I don't want to get into that. I'm 100% for opening it back up the way it used to be, within reason. It's up to your road foreman, not so much Pat. You take District 1, I'm one of them. I don't want that damn blade in my driveway, because he's gonna make it worse. And I don't, and I make that clear. There's a lot of people that don't want you to come in, but you're gonna get to a point when you have a lot of snow, that's when your phone's gonna start ringing. That's where they want you to come in. Even if you open up a road, they're gonna want you to come in and push it back with the loader because the motor grader can't open it up. I'm not for that. They need to hire whoever on that. I'm just doing the convenience of running in and running back out. There's a liability for them. I do know a lot about that. Back in the past, I was not for that. Reason being is, you take like this year, whichever year, we mowed into people's places this year. Isn't that a liability? That's gotta be a liability. You know, you just do stuff. You know, everything's a liability out there. I can go around this county and figure out a lot of liability. Mr. Chairman, I'm ready to make this damn motion. We put this back into play within reason.
On need basis.
Road foreman uses his judgment. They're all good. Pat's good. Go out there. If you find somebody that doesn't have the capability, I'm with you on that 100%. They either find the capability or whatever, but don't expect the county to go into their yard every time we go out with snow and open it because they don't have the capability. The next guy has the capability, but when that snow gets deep, that's where the problems start. So with the bus and not the bus, I don't want to bring the bus into play. I want to treat everybody the same, and I do. Rest my case.
What is your motion?
My motion is to open it back up, however, Mr. Chairman wants to write it up.
Okay.
Well, Pat, if you want to throw in something too, let's just get it up there.
And I wasn't wanting to discriminate in between bus routes or non-bus routes. If you're gonna do driveways, you gotta do driveways.
You got to do them all. Yeah.
And as far as the mowing, it makes it easier for the people.
Well,
There's only there's one individual that asked, and she's been a problem, and she's made it clear if we cross that threshold into her yard, that there's gonna be problems. That's the one individual that would have to sign a waiver because of past history. Not saying get a waiver from everybody, but.
And that individual had called me, which, whatever, why, whatever. I don't tell people not to call me, but, you know, people do change. And my point there is that's where a person has to step into play and go to her and say, this is what's happening. If it happens one more time that you're gonna do something, then you're gonna be off limits completely.
Well,
The communication goes a long ways. People do change in Billings County. I just think if you pat them on the back a little bit, they're dang sure gonna pat you on the back with other means of maybe coming in, crushing gravel, working with you, doing whatever. It worked for so many years and it went back and forth because we always found something, but it always came back to this and it worked. That's all I'm saying.
the only other thing, like the blading once a year, typically a driveway doesn't need bladed more than once a year. One thing I will state is we don't need to be hauling scoria to these driveways. That needs to be on the individual that lives there, not the county to supply scoria for them driveways.
I think that's right.
I'm with that, not with that. You have a two-load policy, I think, kind of roughly.
Well, we'll haul you 2 loads.
So what happens if
You
they
gotta
need
pay
3? They gotta go hire a contractor to haul 3.
And
2
two.
loads don't get very far. So that's where the discretion of the road foreman or yourself to work with the people. It's a tough one. That bridge is gonna be crossed too someday. It's gonna just.
But on that fact, not speaking for myself, but other contractors have told me, yeah, you know, why is the county in business of doing this work? That's where taken away from those contractors.
Yes, but that was brought to our attention. I would have to look back in my thing from a certain individual contractor that came to me when the oil boom was strong and says, we have no time to do this. You need to put this back into play. Because they keep calling me for some loads. So, I mean, it works all around. I'm not saying we need to go in there. They're gonna get paid. They have to get charged for everything anyway. But it's just the idea of having these set 1 or 2 loads. I mean, you do it within reason. I mean, you do.
One thing though is that we've been good about helping residents find contractors. We use a couple different
And that's
contractors
good.
whose rates are low.
Yeah.
They're comparable to the counties, and we'll line it up and have everything done for
Yeah.
them. And that way they don't have to make a bunch of phone calls because he's already trucking with us.
And to be honest with you, I haven't heard a lot about that situation. A lot of
We
them
do it
talk-
all the
yeah.
time. You know, it's, hey, we need our 10 loads, and
Yeah.
we'll line it up, and the guy we're using is responsible, lets me know the count, and then we're good to
Yeah.
go. We've had a lot of good luck with that.
And you know, when you get back to these roads, Pat, you know as well as I do that if we, in Casey, we dissed into these places, you disc into these places, the guy didn't know if you bladed it or you dissed it, he thought you bladed it, we would not have to touch that road all year.
And that's, we did disc a lot of driving, you know,
You
if
know,
they
and
needed
it's
it
just-
last spring, but just trying to define that we're not hauling scoria for free and we're not doing yards.
Yeah, we also have a lot of main roads that we get a lot of hell about, so we can focus on those.
Right.
But it was never a problem. I had a 111-mile route that I ran myself, and the other guys did too, and we could still go into everybody's places, no matter how bad the snow was. Because sometimes when the drifts get big, you spend a little bit more time trying to push it out so it don't. And we could still be back at the shop by the end of the day. And I think you could vouch for that too. So it isn't like we are taking a few minutes, but it's not like what you think. And if it is, you bypass that place and you stay to them main roads. Dude. You just got to go back. But
And some of those places like that, if you have to come back, you spend way more time just coming back.
Oh, you
could've
do.
just
It's
went
another
in
day.
there and came back out. But if you get to the yard, something like that, you have to charge them. If they want their yard cleaned, then you gotta charge them so much an hour. Plus sign the waiver, I suppose.
and I just soon not tackle
I
yard.
just
No, I
soon not
really
do
don't.
that
It's not our
either.
That's too much of a liability.
Well, if you go in that yard with that loader and push that snow out, then you're gonna be calling me to come in there and push your manure out of the crowds.
Mhm.
So the yards you define, and we never did. I mean, maybe if they had to back the bus around or back something out to go to work, you know, I probably plowed up to it, but I did not push nothing, because that motor grader is just gonna make it worse. That's the bottom line.
Well, or you're gonna hit somebody's sewer system or
Anything.
somebody's well, or, yeah, you just can't be in somebody's yard with big equipment.
If I drive in that yard and get stuck in the yard though, can I rely on maybe somebody with county equipment to come help me? Or
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm just talking for myself. Back in the past, I would backtrack 3 miles because I didn't get over on that side and the bus went down there and we had situations. Because you can't be everywhere at that time when we were supposed to do the bus routes. That's where the landowner should step up to play and say, hey, you get out there and clean that yard or whatever, so when you come in. So that's where the county needs to work with the landowner also. I mean, because on my route, I made it clear to all of them. I had about 4 of them that had a nasty yard. But by God, they were out there with the snow blower because they knew I wasn't going to open the yard up, because I would have made it worse for them. I mean, I just would have. So if you get stuck, I mean, fellas, I think there'd be no question of the county on my vote to come pull you out, come do whatever we needed to do to get that bus going with them kids on.
thank you.
And that's
Okay
me.
with that?
Are you gonna at least have these forms used? You know, like the case of on West River Road, did the guy sign the form that he pulled his pickup out?
No.
And
but
why not?
I didn't have them in my pickup with. But the other thing is, Mr. Weird stated you're covered under the
Oh,
Good Samaritan law.
oh.
This is just if you have an alley individual or someone you don't know. The other thing is if you have them hook up to their vehicle, if you rip their bumper off, that's on them, not on you. That's why we let them hook up their own. We'll hand them the chain, hand them the rope, but they gotta hook it up to
And
themselves.
isn't that still in place? I mean, doesn't the road crew know that? Because it was
Yes.
when I was there. We made it clear we did not hook to nobody. They had to hook their own up if we was to pull them out.
And that's what everybody does. So that's why we haven't used the forms a lot. We hand them the ropes, they hook it up.
Yeah.
No issues there, because it's on them then.
The 2 things I just wanna make clear for everybody here, school, everybody, what a yard is and that they need to clean, have some means to clean their own yard. Yeah, if they don't attempt to clean the yard, you get stuck. Well, they should have something to clean to try to. Get up. Yes, then we'll come pull you out. I don't have a problem with that. But if they don't even try, they don't even, that's where it's like, why? But I also want defined is, what's a driveway, what's a yard? For example, the one on 38th, is that just a yard?
In my opinion, it is.
That's where I am too, but I want to make sure. So then the next guy, for example, the person you had trouble with years ago, up in my area, before my time, that's a yard, right?
So the right of way off of approach off of
Bill
the
Palmer.
road isn't considered a
Oh,
yard.
yep, that's a yard. That's
Right.
in my opinion.
So approach,
Sorry, what's that?
approach off the right of way and the county right of way, that's not considered a yard.
So you guys can come and wing a snow into an approach and you're good?
Yeah, I mean, it should be, according to my vote, that's not a yard. A yard would be going in and around into a yard. We still have the right of way. Getting back to the highway, when you had mentioned these short distances on the highway. The DOT won't clean them approaches no more. That came into effect quite a few years ago. And I was objected to that because it puts my crew on that highway with that motor grader back and forth.
And it's
So
busy.
you gotta clean that approach. So what is it to go up to the place and turn around in there and come back out? So I mean, there's just a lot of things to look at here. I call a yard is once you kind of probably get off the right of way, you're kind of like right there,
But
the
that's-
yard. That's the difference between a yard and a road going in. Go ahead.
Can I ask a question, Mr. Chairman?
Mhm.
Could we get a definition maybe from like zoning or from the road crew of, like a written out definition so that county residents can read it and understand what the yard is and what because if it's, a turnaround at a house right past the approach, they'll say, well, there's still a driveway to my approach and you gotta turn around anyway, so I'm just saying,
Well-
if it's within a certain,
From my experience, approach is the county's responsibility off the right of way. That is our responsibility to open up approach.
It's on our easement
It's,
too.
yes.
So if you do the approach though, are you gonna back up on 38th and get out or? how?
Yeah, it's like the highway. If you don't want to go into the yard, you back up around the highway and you back in. I mean, that's how it is. It's our responsibility to open up approach, and it is.
As long as I'm good with all this, we need to have it very defined, so here, this is what the rule is, not,
Well, here it says residents driveways, but not yards.
and I
Do you
didn't put
wanna
head
add
moved,
something
I
to
was
that
just trying
sentence?
to.
well,
I
in
don't know.
his right-of-way comment or something, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I do want to critique more, I'm fine with it.
Like I said, road foreman or Pat, I put it on the road foreman because it's a lot easier job. He's the one that if there's a problem, like the person you're talking about, and I am too, on 38th,
Yeah.
needs to go and, square that up, and this is what we'll do right here, but anything into that, by that house or whatever. So you come to the conclusion, if there's a problem with that, then they bring it to the board and we'll address it.
Yeah.
And I've never had a problem, honest, I've never had a problem that route, they were just.
No, and most people are really good, or they'll say,
Yes.
hey, stay out of my yard. There's certain individuals that don't want you in. Don't have a problem, I don't mind going in, but it just compounds problems when you got,
Mhm.
hey, there's one,
Well,
2, 3 that I can think of off the top of my head that rent 4. They just moved out there and have no means to move snow. They're like, it's bus route. It's like, well,
And yeah, how do you get that part there is somehow, how do you get it communicated between here, the school and the road, so that you need to have some sort
and
of,
if there's nowhere for the bus or for the blade, the bus might be able to turn sharp, but them blades don't. We can't turn our equipment around. Backing out's not quite an option.
Well, and then the bus normally knows the routes. Normally, I know up in the past, if there was really bad, I know our bus driver didn't go into places, with it being, or if we didn't quite make it. So, that's up
You
to the
have to
bus
call
too.
them in that morning.
Well, the residents have to have some
Get on,
run out through the road.
To the main road,
and check
haul
it,
your kids out on your pickup or
or call them
whatever.
if you
Yeah.
can't get it clean.
Yes, all for that.
Right now, I drive through a corral area to get to a yard. I bought that bigger bus and I can't back up talking tins.
Yeah.
And I drop off that big hill just to accommodate yard service. So I guess with this discussion, I'm gonna get my routes without yard service. And I don't pull any favorites, so that's gonna be everybody.
Yeah, and I think back in the day, there was a few people up north that spent out of their pocket and made bus turnarounds with, and they hired the county to come in and landscape and haul scoria and made bus turnarounds because they couldn't get in there, and they paid for that. And that's where, like, situations like that, I think it's gotta be up to them.
This has been ongoing when I was on the school board, same deal. The buses weren't, and then they were, and that was back in 2005. The same thing had been going on. So we just need to get it ironed out the right way, and hopefully it stays there.
There's gonna be a lot of static though if there's no yard service.
With what?
There's gonna be a lot of static from
I think,
everybody with no yard service.
so then I think it needs to go to the school board, and they're gonna have
I
to,
already brought it up.
I know. You told me that.
And you're saying,
Well, I brought it up
you're
to
saying the
she
initial
was gonna
yard,
pass on to the board
On the
members.
bus turnaround.
you're saying the initial yard, Rudy? Inside the yard?
Inside the yard, that's what you were saying, right? Yeah. I just.
Yeah, we never did that. I'm not,
Just, we can visit about that after.
I think that's pretty well directed right up there now. County right of way and residents driveways, but not yards. For now, I think that's how it should go. That's my vote. I don't know if we're gonna add gravel and mowing onto this or not.
Well, I was just looking at that. How do you do that? Because that just says snow.
Well,
How
if
can
we're
we do
gonna
that?
move
Well, you
snow,
could
we're
just-
gonna go in and mow.
Okay.
And that's,
I guess you
just
just put a
because we
comma,
gotta-
mow, and a
And disc.
comma,
Right,
gravel,
okay.
or I mean, blade.
you know, we really don't, it doesn't take long to disc.
Okay.
It saves us, we don't have an issue with that.
Okay.
We've been doing it anyway. But the snow removal was a big one just because.
Well, that affects a lot. You know, if you don't mow, that, you get more,
Oh, yeah, you get more.
We've mowed into everyone's just to help the residents with their snow removal. It doesn't take long. But the reason this got shut down the last time was because people did not have a way to move snow. That was the only reason it got shut down, because they were calling the commissioners saying, hey, why isn't the county here to move our snow? And they didn't have a way to move it in their yard, and your bus got stuck in one of the yards. So then, in order to get the bus out, you send a payloader, which,
I went and pulled it all myself that one time,
Okay.
I know.
you know,
And after that, I talked to him about maybe come and help, and we weren't good enough to send somebody in. And this is just time here and time there, you know? We haven't had a bad winter, but I'm talking.
No, and that's
bad
where the
winter.
stuff happens.
We could have 6 weeks of
Yeah,
headache.
But either way, I still have to agree with Steve. I still think that they're up to their own on their yards. I always handled it that way, and it worked, and I think we have to. I think if I would live down a mile road, which I don't, I would be appreciative of motor grader or whatever coming in on times where you just can't get to the main road and open it up, if it does come to that. But the yard, you dang sure can have ways of doing it unless you don't have something to do it. And those are the ones that ruin it for everybody.
correct.
And
Yep.
I do agree, and I think if that, we cross that bridge, then they need to come to the board and then do something special on that. As far as you figure out ways and means or whatever, you know, but Rudy's correct, he goes down a mile road and can't turn around in the yard, what do you do?
Yeah.
You know, well, I guess as far as I'm concerned, you could rely on a county to come pull you out, but I think there's gonna be some more escalating problems after that.
I had nightmares. I had a bus driver pull out of the driveway and back onto Highway 85.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's not
I
good.
don't sleep when I hear things like that.
That's not good, but.
no, you're just gonna sit there and wait till somebody opens in front of the bus. That's what's gonna have to happen, to be legal and, yeah, safety.
Jim, is this,
I'll make that motion. To direct road crew to clear snow, mow, blade, disc, county right of way, driveways, and especially do not do yards.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
A second. Any more discussion on this? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you all for your statements. Okay,
Mr. Chairman, so is Mr. Geetson now state's attorney, or is Pat still, or is it first of the year?
it's actually, generally it's at the 6th, because that's when Pat's term would
Oh,
have been up.
okay, I'm just
okay.
clarifying.
Because he would have been into January, so,
Okay.
but, I mean, if Jared wants to do the work starting January 1, I'm sure Pat would probably need to meet with him on some ongoing things, just to give him.
I just didn't think to ask him when we were talking about this.
Yeah, I know,
and
I
see him
that's-
sitting there, and I was.
Well, I'm still the assistant state's attorney for.
Well,
right
yeah,
now.
you are, that's true.
Oh,
Yeah, because
oh,
Pat had appointed him, yeah.
I see.
Was there something you wanted to ask?
No, I was thinking some of this through, and I was, yeah, not particular, just,
For definition purposes.
yeah, that's what I was thinking about it as.
But you think it looks okay, I guess, because we can ask you.
Yeah. no,
Your word.
it- Yeah, and there's a famous Supreme Court opinion that discusses it's a criminal-based analysis, but basically the Supreme Court said, I know what it is when I see it. You can't define it, but you know what it is when you see it. So that would be my interpretation for a yard, you know, in effect, in a roundabout way.
I like that.
Well, it just, you know, because I grew up on a farm. I know all about bus services. My mom was a bus driver. So I know what a yard is a yard. You know, the driveway is exclusive of the yard if there's a turnaround or otherwise. So to leave it in the discretion of those in charge, the foreman, the road crews, you know, they can define a yard, I think, to their professional discretion. Because they know what the equipment capabilities are. You don't want to get yourself stuck, you know, with a road grader, because then how are you going to get that out, you know? So discretion is the better part of valor on that situation, I think. They can define it when they see it, within reason.
What people don't understand, and that's the problem we have, is what, you got a big machine, why can't you? You come in with that motor grader, whether you got a V-plow or not, it don't matter. That blade pushes, you push a ridge this high. All it takes is 2 inches of snow, you're gonna have it double the ridge the next day, and then pretty soon you have double the ridge. And then they're like, well, I can't move that, you push that stuff up. So that's why we just did not go that route and stay away. Yeah, there was times I drove in, just lifted right up, turned around, went right back up.
That's what you have to do.
But will you make a turnout for where a bus can get turned around at least, or?
Could we do that?
Yeah. I mean, you might have to push into a part of the yard, but not right to the door. You know, you back up with a motor grader, fine, but what does a bus do?
Wouldn't that come back down to the discretion of the operator? Like he had just said, like if you got a yard, you got space, and the blade just makes a loop and comes back out.
Typically, if there is a loop, the blade just leaves
Blade
it all
down and
set.
just drives
You
around.
drive a loop and then you drive out.
Yeah.
It's not, but if there's nowhere to just make a loop and drive out, then you're stuck back and then turning around with the motor grader. So that comes into the yard being set up for bus service also. You know, maybe it's a thing where you go to the school board and say, these yards are approved for bus service, these yards are not. And these are the yards I will do, and these ones don't fit my bus, and unless they improve their yard, I will not come into them. Whether it be they don't have scoria on their road, whether you're driving through a corral, or whether there's just not room to turn around.
See, every fall, back when I was there, every fall, the bus driver went around, and I actually went with him, and I had nothing to say about it, I just went with them, but the bus driver, Dennis O'Brien was one of them, and we drove around and we went into people's yards, and they had to have a legit turnaround. If they didn't, he didn't approve it.
Yeah.
And they had to. So we had to go out there, and that's where we worked with the people back in the day, because we could, and build this turnaround and haul some scoria on it and do all that. When we got to that turnaround, if it was full of snow, we just made a loop, but I mean, that was still their bag to clean it out, because it was either by their yard or up on top of the hill. So I don't know if they still do that or not. I mean, I see you mentioned talking tins, I can see that being a problem.
And Shane's good, you know, if it's
Yeah.
icy or whatever, he'll bring it to
So-
the main road, but.
Personally, he needs to find a spot and make a turnaround.
Yeah, he could there too, I think.
Before the house.
Right, he could.
Once you get into that narrow.
Yeah.
area,
That's too narrow there, yeah.
But
Well, I think we leave it this way, and then we let the school board and the bus drivers haggle it out next summer there in June, and then we're gonna have to possibly revisit something. Possibly. So,
And if there's more areas that we gotta build bus turnarounds,
Yeah.
or loading spots, or whatever you call them, turnarounds, I mean, I'm not against spending material on that, or,
even if it's outside their yard, you know, you have a section line, I'll use one place for an example. Dale Evans, Brad Evans, that yard gets terrible with snow. But you have that section line that you guys maintain, you'll probably maintain that, but you might have to cut into part of what we call his driveway to make a turnaround for me.
yeah, I would see that would be just a normal operation, wouldn't it? you would just normally run the road, make a loop around, and you leave. That's just, wouldn't that what you guys would do?
Yeah, if there's a place to turn around in the yard, yeah.
Oh, unless they got too much stuff parked or
Or
what?
if they got junk everywhere,
Oh,
that makes it tough.
it's been a while
That's-
since I've been there.
I don't know, I haven't looked at it, but that's one of the issues is you pull in and you just see stuff everywhere. You pick up, you turn around best you can and you get out of there without hitting anything.
So maybe it's
That's
school
where
board
it
and you
needs to
guys
be.
to where this is the winter plan, you need to have this cleared or something so you can get around. I mean, isn't there a big area there to turn around?
Oh, yeah, very good.
You know,
But
maybe
it
that's,
just drifts
But
in
if
there
it's
too.
drifted, it's not good.
Because of the trees there, it drifts.
but in
in
that
so
case, I
bad.
mean, the blade could easily whip
Oh,
her.
easy.
Yeah.
You've
And in
done
that,
it before.
and I don't consider that cleaning a yard. I mean, coming in, and that's my interpretation. If I'd seen it, if I was running something there, you run that road, you loop around like he said, because it's a turnaround, you're making your run. It's not like you're going in, dead ending in, cleaning it this way, that way. That's my interpretation if I was running it.
Okay, well, that's good. I think it's common sense too, so, or however you word
See it,
it.
I'm just trying to get away from making 10, 12 phone calls in the morning. Once I get on the bus, I can't make phone calls.
Well, and that's where the people need to step up.
Yeah.
And it does. I see what you're getting at, but it needs to. And like I said in the past, you just bypass it. You hate to, but you have to bypass it if they're not willing to get out there, or take their kids up to the main road, meet the bus, and then they can clean out the driveway all day if they want to. Or their yard, I should say. You know what I
It might
mean?
get to be a favoritism deal. Why do you do it for others and not me?
Well, but that's where if you have, here's my approved route list, here's the driveways that are approved to turn around a bus. If you don't have this, or if you don't approve, I'm not coming into your yard. And that's where in your proposal, you could put that together.
I
I
think,
wish the school board would have came here today, or some of them at least. But,
well, at least we got to start, I think,
yeah,
and then we can,
well, you see my point.
oh yeah, totally.
County, it's Billings County should work together.
Well, I think we have in the past. I really do. I mean, there's just a few of them that kind of ruin it for everybody, but, you know. We look at the whole scenario and we try and make it work.
And there's a lot of new people in the area that
That
came
don't-
in that
Yeah,
don't
and these
know.
subdivisions and stuff like that, sure, we can go right into there. I do some turnarounds where people own an acre. There's a bus turnaround where, you know, they expect you to turn around.
Like I said, the problem with that is in due time, it's gonna fill up so bad. I'm not against making them pass. I am not against that. It's just they don't realize the problem that motor grader will cause. And I had 2 people on my route ever that had a pretty good sized front wheel assist and a snow blower, and they refused to open up their yard and their road. But yet I still treated them the same, but we did have a conversation more than once, and they came up back around just thinking, well, you should have been here. You always been here at 6. Why is it 7 o'clock? It's like, I don't have to show up at all if I don't want to. I should be out on the main road.
I get out of my yard every day, and I have never had a plow in the 11 years that I've lived on a place that I've had a blade come in.
You know,
Maintain or not.
can I ask a question, Rudy? Your place, do you consider that a yard or a driveway?
My whole place is a yard. I have cattle guards on the main road, so I don't expect you to come in and clean my cattle guards and stuff like that, and you never have. I get on 38th Street on my own.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, I think we'll leave it at that, and we might be looking at it later, but we'll see how this shakes out. Hopefully that helps you out this winter. Now, because
Yeah,
we'll
through this, But
get,
it might make a decision whether come June,
no,
how I bid my route.
right,
And there ain't gonna be no bus service, probably 4 routes.
so,
70-some kids are gonna probably have to find their own way to school.
so, I I just know when it was before, when I was on the school board, the motion was that you had to clean out your own yard. That was it.
I think in 1992, I think I had my sheet, because my kids were in school, that you were responsible to clean out your yard.
We had to.
Or get the kids to the main road. They would make provisions that the bus stayed on the main road, but make it. I just, that yard is a touchy situation, but we made it work, and it'll work, Rudy. We'll make it work.
On a need basis, if one of my bus drivers calls and say, hey, I'm having trouble getting into this yard, or I got stuck in this yard, can they rely on you to help?
As one commissioner, yes. They can answer their phone.
I'll agree to that.
You're a radio away from the road crew. The last thing we want is a bus stuck somewhere, or anybody.
Well, that's the thing, none of us have radios.
You don't have radios no more in the buses?
I have 2 of my old ones have radios, which they're spare
Oh, wow.
buses.
Why is that?
They just quit putting them in.
Quit putting them in,
So you rely on your cell phone if you have coverage, huh?
and you're not supposed to be on it.
Well, if you're stuck, you can be, right?
Yeah, if you're not moving.
There's an exception. I didn't know that. I was used to radios back on all the buses, so I didn't know.
I just don't want to have the feeling that my bus driver's out there on their own, without making a call to the road crew and have them say, no, we were told we can't do that.
Yeah, no, you won't have it. And you know what? When them crews are out there plowing, they know that where that bus is at all the times.
Been wanting to.
They know where the bus is at. So if they don't see it or whatever, even if there is no radio communication, there's still ways of, okay, the bus hasn't come by here. I wonder if something didn't happen, Or the patron that's up next in line with the kids is calling, like, is something wrong with the bus? Have you heard? So, there's kind of just trying to make it work on all aspects of this. I think the thing is we brought it back in, so.
Okay, I think we'll move on. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Next item is nominate chairman and vice chairman for 2026. So we'll, open the floor for nominations for chairman, and then we'll do the vice chairman. So,
I nominate Dean for chairman.
okay, we have a nomination for chairman. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, motion carries there. Vice chairman, floor is open for vice chairman. I'll nominate Jim. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, there we go. Commissioner portfolios, I think we got a paper on that. I didn't even look at it.
They have on there what it was as of this year, and then if you wanted to change them, if you don't want to change them, there's no requirement to or anything like that, but if you wanted to switch them up or anything.
I would be in favor of just a random switch. You learn a little more about each department. When I took over for maintenance, I didn't even know where his office was, to be honest. I learned a lot about it, but I wouldn't be against a change. Not that I'd have problems with any of mine, it's just switched up with one of the sheriff, EMS, or
You want your Southwest
fire.
Multi-Correctional Center back?
I'll take it back, but I might just not show up, like Mr. Weir told me.
I don't want to give mine up. I just get used to them buggers.
I'm fine with leaving them too for.
Okay. Just want to throw it out there in case
that's
somebody else
okay.
would.
If you want to switch, yeah. We did last year, we asked. I think that question was brought up. I'll make a motion, we just leave them the same.
I'll second it.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, next is, set a meeting date for next January, because we don't have our resolutions done. We'll do them in January, the first meeting. So go ahead, Marcia. You can
So the regular meeting date would be scheduled for January 6th, as long as nobody has any issues with that.
That'll work for me.
And we don't need a motion for that, you just set it. But then the New Year's holiday would be Thursday, January 1, which is this week. I had mentioned there was some emails that had gone around from auditors groups that some counties are taking the afternoon of December 31st off, some are taking Friday half a day off as well. So just to throw it out there, if you guys are interested in giving an additional day on Friday, or just leaving it as the Thursday.
I'll make the motion, we give them Friday off.
What do you mean by off? Like a paid holiday or,
Yes.
or what?
Paid holiday. That's what she's asking.
And January
And then-
1st. We'll have to make a motion for that because it's not in the resolutions, but
Because I think if we're gonna do it, you're better off, to me, in my book, on a Friday than you are coming taking a half a day off Wednesday.
So then you'd work Wednesday
You know,
all
yeah.
day,
Mhm.
okay? Well, that I would be okay with. Steve?
After I went for the double time on holidays, I kind of don't like to add to them when you see how much it adds up, so I'd be against the Friday off.
But the half a day Wednesday is off. Is that
No,
right?
no,
No,
it's
it
not.
isn't?
No, it's not.
It never has been?
just Thursday,
Just-
January 1st.
Okay, all right.
Work out just like where it was only half a day on
Right.
Friday, so you're not giving 8 hours.
Right, it'd be 4 hours on Friday.
Okay.
Maybe if I wouldn't have advocated for that double time on holidays, I would be more to, after seeing the numbers and when it's actually the day, the people, let's say it's sheriff, EMA, whoever it is working at the holidays that don't want to be there scheduled, I was all about the double time. Well, then when you have an additional day like Friday, you see what it adds up to be. That's where I go backwards on what I made decisions for on, you could say.
So my question then would be, if you're not working on the 2nd,
Then you get the 4 hours additional on the Wednesday. So like for the road crew, they would get 4 hours on Wednesday because they aren't working on Friday anyway, or people that aren't scheduled to work on the Friday, they get the 4 hours additional.
but it isn't double time though.
It's not double time unless they are, so it wouldn't be on working on Wednesday, but if they came in on Friday to work.
Because of
then
a
they
snowstorm,
would.
let's just say,
Right. If something came up,
then they would get paid
then they would
double
get
time.
paid double
Okay.
for the
It's just
hours
the
worked.
same, like Wednesday, half a day. I just said Friday because I think it's better on a Friday than it is on a Wednesday.
I agree that it's better on a Friday too.
So that's why I said Friday.
And we'll
Kyle
still
won't be in
need to
no
look
shape
through
to
all
work
the
Friday.
other ones in January at the January meeting for the rest of the year.
Okay, is there any other comments on it, or is there a motion on the table to do, so what would we, the meeting date you said for January 6th is just fine, we just
Right.
did that.
Yeah, you just said it.
But the New Year's holiday, then we gotta have a motion for January 2nd.
Jim made the motion for January 1 and January 2, the half day.
Oh, I didn't see it up there. Okay. Well, I'll second that. Any more discussion? Anybody else? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
Okay.
It's gonna look terrible.
That's
I wouldn't
fine.
let January
Motion
one
carries,
be
so
off.
you voted your way, that's good.
Unless we wanna talk about holiday pay next year again.
Well, we'll be talking about it on next week, whatever, Tuesday. Okay, required budget amendments, Marcia, what do you got going?
We have the budget amendments and transfers form here. These first 4 were all budgeted in the 2025 budget, so it's just we need to make a motion to approve them prior to the end of the year. The first would be unorganized fund to road and bridge fund to transfer $1 million, to transfer $950,000 from highway distribution to road and bridge fund, to transfer $8,550,000 from land utilization to the road and bridge fund, and to transfer $334,156.82 from operating and maintenance fund to the weed fund. That transfer for the weed fund isn't actually necessary at this time, but so that we don't have to do the full transfer for them next year, I'd rather do it at the beginning of the year, because they shouldn't need a transfer then for next year.
So this is gonna get transferred though, this year yet?
Correct.
Okay. And then they'll live off of that next year?
Correct. And then the emergency
That's how I call
911
it in my
fund.
bookkeeping.
That's on the dollar that we get from fees on wireless and landline phones. We don't get enough. We had a surplus for many, many years. We don't get enough to cover the expenditures in that fund anymore. The budget was set at $35,000 for this year. We've spent a little over $22,000 out of that fund. That's on Siren as well as the dispatch fees. Is that the same thing?
Yeah. Like how the 911 fees go, it's like everybody pays $1.50 per month. Well, 50 cents of that is basically money in, money out for Siren. So we have $1, and it's been at $1 since 911 fees were first collected. Well, 20, 30 years ago, $1 goes a lot more than what it does now. Well, we have basically 1,100 telephone lines, so 1,100 times 150 times 12 isn't very much. So yeah, that's just one of those things. Like we'll be supplementing 911 with general fund money from now on. Unless if we did go to the $2, which is the max that you can go with right now, like $1.50 would go to the county, 50 cents would go to the state for Siren. It would basically be a wash. You wouldn't have to use general fund money, but that goes to the vote of the people.
Yeah, if you want to do that, you'd have to do that soon to get it on the ballot.
Yeah.
You're right, and we've had it on the ballot in previous years, and it's been voted down every time. What they don't realize, I think, is that it's also for the people who maybe don't own property here, but they live here. They would then pay the $1.50 or the $2 to the county instead of.
Because you have a phone line.
Right, so it's more of a equal tax across.
So is it a cell phone and or a landline?
Yes, every
Okay.
telephone.
Every telephone.
Yeah.
Well, if you have 2 telephones, it's
Yep.
double? Okay.
Well, 15 telephones would be 15 times.
Okay.
Yeah. So just for future discussion, but I would just request to amend the operating and maintenance budget to transfer $11,000 from operating and maintenance to the E911 fund to cover expenses over the revenue for this year.
I'd make that motion.
So are we gonna do them all together?
Yep, and I would just request a motion
To
to
amend
amend the
budgets,
budgets.
improve the transfers as presented.
Okay, do them all. Everybody okay with that? Do
Yep.
them all, okay. Then moved. Is there a second?
I second.
We have a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Right.
Aye, motion carries. Okay. And we have to sign some papers here, is that it then? Or you got something else?
Nope, that is it, but I do have, I need 2 signatures for you on this stuff, but it's not for me.
When are we gonna sign this Jared Geetsey thing?
You can sign that now if you'd like
Okay,
to.
and you'll sign it too then?
And then I'll have to sign under his
Yeah.
signature as well.
All right. Well, then, make a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming. Last meeting of the year,
Let's hope.
unless something happens.
Water main break.
I mean, we got a meeting next week, so.
Yeah, well, that's next year though.
That's next year. I think this is we only got a day, hopefully.
If I can help.
One, start with the partner, the wall again.